South Africa, located at the southern tip of Africa. It's about 1.22 million kilometer squared country, boasts world-class infrastructure and excellent roads, which makes for fantastic self-drive options, modern airports. In terms of national parks, home of the Kruger National Park, one of the oldest national parks in Africa. A couple of fun facts: Kruger National Park is roughly the size of Israel and contains more species and large mammals than any other national park, with about 147. Signature wildlife, home of the Big Five in most of the parks in South Africa. Also, interestingly enough, home of the marine Big Five: whales, sharks, seals, penguins, dolphins, and a huge variety of antelope species. A fantastic safari destination.
South Africa is unique because South Africa is also known as what they call a world in one country. You got 2 different oceans, lots of different languages, cultural tribes. Other than just safari, you've got beaches, forests, mountains, desert areas. It's got a lot to offer for the traveler. Obviously, the big draw card for safaris is Kruger National Park and the greater Kruger area, but there's a number of other smaller parks dotted all around the country. Even outside of Cape Town, there's a couple of Big Five game reserves. So generally when people come to South Africa, they'll combine it with a safari as well as typical sort of holiday destination. Great to rent a car, drive around the country, or book out a villa or a house by the beach in Cape Town, for example. So there's, endless options when you come to South Africa.
Something unique about South Africa is that it is one of the few safari countries where it is safe and very easy to self-drive. So it is where we can combine people visiting different parts of the country, and if they don't want to be part of a group tour, they can drive themselves, and we will design the itinerary to include all the different areas they want to see. It is a country with 11 official languages, and I think that is unique compared to any other country around the world.
The uniqueness in South Africa is it's a little bit less of a culture shock if you compare it to a place like Tanzania or Kenya, for example. It is, I would say, halfway to a first world country, but there's still quite a lot of third worldness in it. But infrastructure is very good. It's very easy to get around. There's so many tourist options, so many tourist attractions. It is actually a very easy country to travel to, and it's also not the most expensive destination. There's so many hidden gems that people don't actually know about too much, and I'd say one of my favorite reserves is a small reserve on the northern coast of KwaZulu-Natal called Mkuzi. It's a brilliant reserve. It's not as much as you drive around in your vehicle, look for animals like you would in a traditional Kruger safari. There, the focus is more on hides. So they've got a lot of hides around water points where you can sit the whole day and you can see animals coming and leaving throughout the day, coming and going. It's a great experience. You don't have to drive around, and you actually fall in with nature's pace and see them coming to drink and leaving one by one. Amazing place.
So my hidden gem in South Africa is based in Cape Town, Table Mountain National Park, which covers a range of ecosystems. And if you walk up to the top of the mountain or take the cable car and then explore on the top, there's actually a museum with a steam train inside, which was used many years ago when they were building the dams that used to provide all the water for Cape Town. And not that many people are aware that there is a steam train on top of Table Mountain in the museum, and that's one of my hidden gems I always take visitors to see when they come.
Other than obviously the safari, and that if you're here for an extended period and you can drive and rent a car and you're happy to drive around and explore in that, certainly going only about 2 to 4 hours north of Cape Town, there's an area called the Cedarburg Mountain Range. And if you love hiking, a mountain location, that is definitely a place to go to. You can spend days staying there. It's also famous for flower season. So if you come through end of August, start of September, you've got all the flowers in that area. You've got Bushman paintings, lovely camping, and you can even possibly spot some wildlife when you're there, things like ostrich, chakma baboon, and other sort of buck and that sort of thing. And it's very well sort of set up, so if you go there with very little even, you'll be able to buy stuff en route, stay at campsites, book a chalet. It's just something to consider as an add-on when visiting South Africa.
Your best safari experience for first-time safari goers to South Africa would definitely be the world-famous Kruger National Park. It's an amazing place where you can see all the animals that's available in the reserve. They've got the Big Five and more. then because it's a malaria area, I would not recommend that as a first-time place for families. Perhaps Pilanesberg National Park, which is a bit closer to Johannesburg, would be great because that's malaria-free and it's very close to Joburg.
So if you're wanting to come to South Africa and do a walking safari with actual hiking as well as just bushwalks to look for animals between your game drives, we have a 14-day itinerary which takes you to the Kruger for some game viewing, but you then also go into KwaZulu-Natal and the Drakensberg. And there's a range of hikes from moderate to quite advanced, and this is a fantastic way to see the country and to experience some of the different ecosystems.
You know, if you've been to other parks before and you either come for a second time, even a first time, what is a good combination are the parks in the KZN province. So up on the east coast, you've got Shishlui-Omfolozi National Park. It's quite famous for rhino also and other wildlife. And then you can combine that. What's also a lot of people don't know is that South Africa is quite a very good scuba diving destination. Up in the northeast of the coast there, you've got a place called Sodwana. And Sodwana's got some of the best scuba diving, globally. So that would be a nice combination, your safari parks in KZN and scuba diving, great combo for, a return visit or even first time if you're an avid scuba diver.
This is always a bit of a tricky question. It depends on where in South Africa you're focusing on. For example, if you look at the southern areas of South Africa, we've got a winter rainfall area, so you can expect some rain in winter, a little bit cooler weather in the Western Cape. If you look at the majority of the rest of the country, it would be a dry winter area, but winter is definitely the best time to do a natural safari in the north of the country. June, July, August up to September is definitely the best time to do your big 5 safaris.
Actually, you can travel to South Africa all year round. If you're going to do sort of like the Western Cape region, garden route, like I mentioned before, there are not national parks, game reserves. Outside of Cape Town, there's a number of big 5 game reserves. So if you come over the holiday season, December, January, you can have beautiful weather in Cape Town. You can do those private game parks, Aquila and then Verdun. And then if you're traveling outside of that time of year, if you come in traditional safari season, so June, July, August, you'd go up to Kruger Park area. Chilly nights, but it's dry, lovely sunny days, and the wildlife viewing is at its best that time of year.
So in South Africa, the exchange rate means that for most visitors, the safari and your hotel prices are actually extremely good value. And even in the more budget range, you're getting extremely good service, excellent food. So whilst you have an option of much lower budget safaris, you can also stay at luxury lodges, which will include private plunge pool, butler, all sorts of add-ons. But the price still, compared to many other African countries, is actually extremely competitive. So this also makes it popular for families and first-time safari visitors, although you might have to fly a little bit further to get to South Africa. Normally the savings you make on your travelling in the country are going to make that worthwhile.
Type of accommodation you can expect in South Africa while on safari, what is quite popular is the tented camps that you get in the Kruger area, as well as some of the other parks on that. But yeah, we've got some great tented safaris in the Sabi Sands area and in the greater Kruger area. What you can expect is exactly like you get in a hotel room. You have a walking tent, you have a bedside lamp, you have a PowerPoint. Some even have ensuite bathrooms, some don't. The bathrooms are located either next door or nearby, but generally very comfortable and so generally compact. So 2 adults. Generally, there are some bigger tents that maybe can fit a young child in, but for any bigger families than that, we'll split you between, a number of tents during the stay.
There's a few very nice and unique accommodation options in the greater reserves like Kruger. One specifically I'm thinking of is a tree house, that you can live in a tree house. Some of them have all the facilities you need in the tree house. Then some of them actually have a sleep out option, some of the reserves, where you can go and sleep out of the main camp in nature and actually experience a little bit of being in nature or part of nature yourself overnight, which is a great experience. Sometimes a little bit frightening if it's the first time, but it's definitely worth doing it.
So like and subscribe. Also feel free to join a 6-part email course that will answer everything you need to know about going on safari in the link below, and check out our website. We have many tours of all various durations and styles for each country in East and Southern Africa.